So getting into wrestling, Danny Davis, the Nightmare, Danny Davis's nephew. Is that right? That was right, right?
That is correct.
I mean, was that the key to getting in, or did you get in and then you became his nephew? I don't.
Well, he married my Aunt Faye, and that's how he's my uncle by marriage. And then I'd always been a wrestling fan since I was, which I'll never let him live down. Which he loved.
Hey, Doug, Jebediah Blackhawk and Cousin Otter.
I got a lot of those tapes, though. Those are awesome.
Basham. Oh yeah, I go back and watch some of that sometimes just because it's fun to watch and just listen. But so yeah, I've been wrestling. I was a wrestling fan my whole life growing up, and then I used to watch USWA. That's what we got around here.
Yeah.
And though they would advertise a wrestling school in Nashville, the Jarrett School wrestling school, and I always wanted to go, but I just I was from like Ripper told me, I'm from a one stoplight town, Henryville.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, and I had never been out of Indiana, let alone out of my town, let alone out of Indiana. So I didn't, I was pretty sheltered. Didn't know how to get to Nashville to wrestling school. I was like, oh well, it's something that'd been awesome to do. I still kind of tried to pursue it and see where I could go, and then I said, well, shit, I guess I got to go do something with my life. So I went to Indiana University. Was going to be a doctor. You got that? I was going to school to be a doctor, and it was hard as hell.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't smart enough, but I was faking it. And then I went through my freshman year and started my sophomore year, and that's when Danny opened a wrestling school, and I had moved back to Louisville because I went to Bloomington. I was staying on campus, and I had moved back home because I had an opportunity to work at Jewish Hospital, and I was friends with our family. Were friends with one of the doctors there, Dr. Coots and Dr. Kleinert of Coots and Kleinert. And that's what I wanted to do. I want to do hand and microscopic surgery. And he got me a job there, and I got to go in there and see all kinds of cool stuff. And then Danny's school was in Portland, Kentucky, which is just the west end of Louisville. And it was just open, hadn't been open long. And I asked my Aunt Faye, I said, you think Danny would mind if I went by the school and just checked it out? And she goes, absolutely, go ahead and go on by. And Danny, said, yeah, come on by, kid. So I went by there, and I made sure I had sweatpants just in case I got to get in the ring and all that.
Yeah, bring your money, kid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That too. So got there. I mean, Ripper, did you ever see that place?
I don't think that one.
I never saw the first one.
This is not the one in Jeffersonville. This is a different one, right?
Yeah, this is one in Louisville. It was a shithole. Perfect for a wrestling ring and training.
Yeah.
Hot. Just big enough to put a ring in. The ring was an old box. It was hard. It was a hard ass ring, and just big enough to put the ring in and Danny's desk, and you had a bucket to go pee and poop in. And walked in there, and he had like 5 students that were just walking through some stuff. And Danny goes, hey. And they were doing the basics, hopping in over the top rope, running the ropes, turnbuckles. And Danny said, "Jump in there." I was like, okay. So I jumped in there, and being naturally athletic anyway, everything that they were doing was pretty easy for me to do. And then I said, what would it take to come back? He goes, well, we'll talk about that. And then now the rest of the story. I just kept training, and Ripper, old school Danny, he beat the living tar out of me. I had private sessions where I got stretched, and I just stayed there. The story I used to always tell Danny, there's a story I like to tell. In that building, Danny, and I didn't get smartened up for like 6 months. 6 months. He didn't smart me up. And I'm sitting there doing all this training, and I'm like, this is not right. Come on, this can't be right. I'm getting something's not right. I mean, they're throwing me and throwing me down, and it just doesn't look the same on TV. Something's not right here. And then Danny got me in the ring and said, "Hey, kid, show me how you sell someone punching your stomach." I'm like, okay, boom. And I went down and sewed like that. And Danny's standing right beside me, right? He goes, well, that's not bad, kid. And out of nowhere, he punched me so hard in the stomach. I guarantee he felt my spine. I think I shit my pants. I pissed. I went down, my eyes were watering. I was like, I couldn't breathe. I'm like, and he goes, now you got it, kid. I go, so that what I learned was, you make it look real.
Yeah.
You make it look real. And that's what I did. I sold everything I sold. I made it look real.